War. War never changes.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. Welcome to another edition of War Never Changes. You'll notice that we fired Will after just one show. No, he couldn't make it this week. After we just got done saying how excited we were, Phil and I scared him off, but that's okay. My name is Jim, and I've already introduced him, but I'm going to introduce him properly this time. Over here, the man, the myth, the legend, the true co-host of the show, 50 caliber Phil McCracken. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. Very, very tired. How are you?
Don't be tired, man. Dude, this is hype week. This is it, dude. We are barreling in on E3. We were screwed out of E3 last year, and we're back, baby. We got game news to talk about. We got predictions to talk about. This is supposed to be hype. This isn't supposed to be like, hey guys. That's no. Leave that. We're past that. We're here. We're on the precipice of greatness. Do you understand?
I just drove in from Philadelphia. Aren't I allowed to be a little
No.
tired?
But it is
Okay,
interesting.
good.
I don't know what's going on with my overlay, but I see you three times. It's like you're over here, and you're over here. It's a lot
It's
of
okay.
Phil. It's a lot to take in. I'm not
Your,
gonna
your,
lie.
our connection is it makes you look like you were on dial-up.
Well, good thing I'm recording from my connection, which of course is stable at least down here in the Sunshine State. You know the drill, Phil. Before we get started with the show proper, we love to do the greatest segment that you have created, known as Trash or Treasure. And maybe one week you'll actually come prepared and give me some trash or treasure.
I can give you five trash or treasures right
No,
now.
no, you're not, because I already wrote mine down, and unfortunately, this is the way it's going to be. Maybe next week, we'll see. Phil, number one, you know the game, Assassin's Creed 3.
Treasure.
Okay, we'll come back. Let me put a little star next to that. Number two, people who call the X button on a PlayStation controller cross.
Trash.
Okay, we're going to put a little X next to that one too. Number three,
You put a
Boston
cross next to it?
cream donuts.
Never had one.
What? Dude, do you know tomorrow is National Donut Day and you haven't had you do yourself a favor and go get a Boston cream donut. I can't believe you haven't had it. Show's over. I'm done. I need to
I don't like the puddingy like weird runny cream. It's not for me. I like headlights
Okay.
with like the whipped cream.
Number 4, Predator 2, the movie.
Treasure.
Wow, dude, you are batting like zero today. We'll see if you can. We'll
According
see
to
if you can
you.
get it in the clutch. We'll come back to these. I just want your gut reaction. Number 5, former UFC fighter Matt the Terror Sarah.
Trash.
What the, dude? What? This is the worst trash or treasure I've ever played with you. Timeout. The one I want to fight, I will fight you on. I will fight you legit when I see you here in a couple months. We will duke it out in the squared circle that is Disney Springs or wherever we're going to meet. Neutral ground. How could you possibly tell me Assassin's Creed 3 is a treasure? That game was just
because
boiled
because it was an
ass.
okay game, because it was an okay game that I enjoyed playing wasn't an option, and it wasn't trash. I did not enjoy it.
Ooh, it was so bad, dude. God, Connor was the most stiff protagonist. The
Not worse
story
than
was
before.
bad. The graphics were bad. The revolution, the fights that they had were bad.
I don't know. I'm into that time period, like that time period of history. I like that stuff. I thought it was an okay storyline. I thought it was cool that they got a Native American main character. I don't know. I had fun with it. I've got the Steelbook right over there.
As a fan of that time period as well, that's why I'm disappointed because I feel it was such a disservice. But that's why we do Trash or Treasure. We get to hear if you're right or wrong. I would say this week, I'm the trash. No.
I don't even know who that MMA fighter guy that was that you were talking about. So I thought, what would annoy Jim the most? I'm going to say he's trash.
Matt the Terror Sarah was phenomenal. He won Ultimate Fighter 4. But enough of that and enough of how wrong Phil is. We are here today to talk about gaming, sir. The ice has been broken. The water of E3 floweth. The cuppeth runneth over. We have a schedule for E3 2021, which I don't think you have entirely looked at, but that's okay because I have, and I'm going to shepherd you through what is going to be a very interesting show today. Okay? Now, you got to know this about me, and I know I've told you this, but I'm telling the larger audience, which includes the one guy who yelled at us but now likes us, and the Bob. And I'm sure Will probably watch this too. So to our established fans of 3 people. Wow, well, Will's getting some shrapnel. Remember that, Will. Your real family is right here. Forget all that crap with your wife. Forget all that. This is your family. That's right. So the deal is I always take off every year for E3. I've done this ever since I got my first job way back when in 2004. I've never not taken off for E3. And once again, the tradition holds true, and I will be taking off Monday and Tuesday to enjoy what may be a very anticlimactic E3, but the tradition will be upheld. So I always do these like prediction talks because I'm such a fan. I might be the only fan left in the world.
And here we see what a well-adjusted and mature adult Jim is, taking off to watch video game reveals.
Yes, that's right. It's my holiday. I know a lot of people are into other things, like they're into Christmas, or they're into Valentine's Day, or they're into whatever. For me, the holiday is E3. It's always been E3. So we finally got a schedule that came out. Very, very exciting. Oh, hey. Did you...
Hello.
Hi. You weren't skipping. You were just yawning and staring off in outer space, so I figured I'd wait until you were back. Hi.
I was
Jim.
listening to you talk.
Oh, okay, that's good. The first show up is going to be Ubisoft. And I want to ask you, what do we need to see from Ubisoft? That's a lot of head. Because, again, I'm seeing it 3 times. There are 3 of you. Listen, what do we need to see from Ubisoft to make this a good E3 for them? Do we care anything? We're just going to love whatever they do. We know Far Cry is coming out. We know Beyond Good and Evil 2 exists somewhere.
We need them to announce some fun stuff with Far Cry 6. We need to address why they've released a collector's edition of Far Cry 6 that only contains a statue and doesn't contain a fucking game.
The Chorizo edition. I kind of want it. I like the dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, Ubisoft, are you a toy maker or do you make games? What the fuck, man?
Fair enough.
We need an update on Division 3.
Okay.
And I want to hear that Ubisoft is going in on co-production for Siphon Filter, because I'm all up in ears about Siphon Filter and I want it.
Do you think that we're gonna get a Splinter Cell this year?
Oh man, that would be fucking sick, dude. That'd be fucking sick. I really hope.
I mean, what's the deal?
I
Why
don't.
have we been? I'm trying to think when the last Splinter Cell came out. It was like 2012 or something. They had some weird like reboot where it didn't have Michael Ironside in there, and it was just a bad game, and it was abandoned, and like nobody played it, nobody talked about it, and then they said, well, we're done with the series, and they just kind of killed it. Like, are we gonna get more? Like, what do you think?
I don't. So how did they? I don't remember how that story ended. How did they leave it?
I don't know about the weird reboot, but in the main story, Sam Fisher's daughter got killed, I think. Do you remember that? Like, he was betrayed, he was set up, and then he went off on, like, he went rogue on that blacklist where he was, like, a bad guy. and he kind of turned against the agency, and he was basically like, I don't remember if he like ran off like into the darkness as it ended, but it wasn't a happy. I don't feel like it was a happy ending. But it's been so long, I don't remember. Like, it's the problem is the game world has passed us so far by now. Playing that game would just not be fun. It's not pretty looking. The controls probably suck. Like, I don't remember anything about it. I mean, I guess I could look up the Wikipedia and like what happened kind of thing, but it's not even a game that you're gonna like want to play. Like, oh yeah, I remember the fun time I had with this. You're gonna be like, oh, this sucks. When are we getting a new one? You're gonna be right back where you were.
Do you think if we get a new one, it will be an actual new storyline and new game, or will it be a remake?
Yeah, so I feel okay. I don't want them to redo the first one, although I don't remember the first one, and I'm sure the open world has changed so much that them redoing the first one would probably just look bad anyway. I think the problem is so much time has passed. If it was like a continuation in the story, no one would know what the hell was going on. All I remember is Michael Ironside's voice, and that's really all I remember. I don't remember much of anything other than that, and he needs to come back, and we need to start over again, or do like a jump like 30 years in the future, which almost we've done at this point, and everything that happened in the past doesn't matter.
I agree. I don't think we get one this year. I think we'd get a new Siphon Filter before we get a new Tom Clancy, a new Splinter Cell.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I know you're a big Siphon Filter guy. I didn't know. I'm gonna look it up. I didn't realize Ubisoft made Siphon Filter.
They didn't.
Well, what does that have to do with Ubisoft?
I said that it would be cool. I believe that the way I said it was that it would be cool if they hopped on board and co-made that game.
Oh, I understand. Okay, you just want a third-person tactical stealthy type game. Okay, yeah, Siphon Filter. I was gonna say I thought it was by Bend, and it was. It's the guys who made Days Gone. We haven't seen Siphon Filter since 2007. Yeah, there's definitely a space for that stealth type game, and I think that's what's frustrating is like. We don't really have, so I guess Ghost, which I know you didn't play. Ghost is probably the closest, although that was feudal Japan, but that was the most action-y stealth I feel like we've gotten in a long time. Maybe The Last of Us 2, I guess you could argue as well. But definitely not like wearing cool, the goggles and all the cool tech and the spy cams and all that kind of stuff. That's been missing for a while. It seems like we've gone much more into just like co-op, big shooting, dual battles, like we got away from that single player fun experience where it's like you're a stealth agent and you have to break into some top secret, stronghold on your own or whatever.
Yeah, I agree. I want to scale the side of a building with like suction cup knee pads.
Yes. For 20 minutes.
You get to the top, you open the vault, what's inside? Tendies and Mussy.
Tendies and Mussy and a briefcase full of good boy points. Like more than you'll ever be able to spend. Like the briefcase, the good boy points are like hanging out the side because they tried to close it and it doesn't matter. Okay, so last question from Ubisoft. We'll move on. Do you think we will see Beyond Good and Evil 2 make a reappearance this year? Because this game seems to be like dead at this point.
I don't think so. I think that they have their hands full with that new game that neither of us know about. And I think that they have their hands full with everything that they're doing with the Division 2 and Far Cry 6 and their new like Battle Royale game. And didn't they just make like a dodgeball game? I feel like they've got a lot going on.
Oh, the dodgeball was by EA. You're talking about that dopey Knockout City. Yeah, Hyper. What was their What was their Battle Royale game called? Hyper Drifter or Hyper? It was all set in the future. It was. I think like 6 people play it. The 2 people that are actively playing. I apologize to you because I don't know the name of your favorite game. I agree with you. I think it just holistically, I guess I should have started with this, but I'll bring it up here, and I think it'll be something that I'll mention as we go through these other shows or these other companies here. This will be the year where we see how bad COVID really was because we didn't really get much from these guys last year, and they're like, hey, we got good stuff coming. if a year goes by and we still don't have good stuff coming, then we know that COVID really, really hurt people. I mean, I think it did anyway, but like it really killed game development. Like they could not figure out how to develop outside of like the warehouse or the bunker, wherever they do these games. You look at what Ubisoft has announced last year versus this year. If it's not a lot of stuff, mind blowing, oh my God, then yeah, what have you guys been up to? And the answer is probably nothing. Bastards. Moving on to the one that I am probably second most excited for is Microsoft and Bethesda. So that first one I announced, that Ubisoft, that is Saturday, June 12th. Then moving on to Sunday, June 13th, it is the Microsoft and the Xbox and Bethesda game showcase, a joint partnership. I'll start with the general question. What are we thinking here? What do we need to see from either Bethesda or Xbox? I know it's kind of one and the same, but they're treated separately still.
I would love to see some new news on Starfield, and I would like another teaser trailer of Skyrim to get me going for another 3 years, or Skyrim's successor, Elder Scrolls 6.
Anything.
Wasn't it like 3 years ago that they put that like 6-second teaser trailer out there?
It was
either 2 years ago.
It was a couple of years ago, yeah, and there was nothing, and people were micro analyzing like every pixel of that. Like, you see that mountain? I think it's north of here.
Yes. Yes, dude. The mountain, like that stupid mountain range. They're like, well, it's a mountainous topography, so it can't be blah blah blah. It can't be Black Marsh. I'm like, dude, fuck off.
Yeah, well, that's how desperate people are for news, man. That's the world we live in. We need these things. Yeah. I'm hoping for, really holistically, not so much picking on Bethesda, just Xbox as a whole. These guys have just been buying studios for the last, I don't know, 5 years, it seems like, ever since the other Phil Spencer came into town. And they've just been buying studios. And really, if you look at it, since he's been around, there haven't been that many great games that have come out. I know we're going to see Halo, but like outside of Halo, and I'll talk about that in a minute, outside of Halo, there's been a lot of like little snippets like, hey, we might be working on a Fable game. Hey, we might be working on a sequel to Hellblade. Hey, Obsidian may be making a game, but we're not really ready to say anything quite yet. It just doesn't seem like we've seen much from these guys, and I just feel like it's the laughingstock now of like, what great games is Microsoft not going to show us this year? I feel like that's where it's going to end up.
Yeah, why Obsidian? Why are you making another game? The last one you made sucked. The one before that, from 2009, that was pretty good. But this last one, no, terrible. El Terrible. I'm excited for Halo. I thought we were just talking specifically about Bethesda.
No, either one. Yeah. I mean, they're all in the same now. So I don't know how they're going to divvy up the time. I mean, maybe Bethesda gets like a 20-minute Bethesda block, or I don't know. I don't know how they're going to plan that.
Yeah, they will. Bethesda will get a 20-minute block, and they'll spend the whole time showing us games we don't give a shit about, and they won't say anything about the two we care about.
Do you think they'll show Deathloop?
Yeah, I think Arcane will get a chance to show what the current part of the development cycle that Deathloop is in.
Even though they're not going to get it on Xbox for like a year? You think they're still going to show it? They're like, hey, look at this cool game that you can play on PlayStation. And computer, I guess.
Are they going to really still honor that?
Yeah, they said they are. Whoops.
You bought them just a little too late.
You were like 5 minutes too late. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder... You know, Bethesda always has, I mean, the infamous where Todd Howard comes out on stage and he'll deep dive a game for 30 minutes and talk about all the game mechanics. He did this for the Fallout games, and it was great. I would love for him to come out and just do like old school Todd Howard, where he just sits, you know, just like one-on-one with the camera, and he just sits down and talks to everybody like, all right, here's what we got going on. Here's the game. Here's the mechanics. But I don't know if these games, it's same with just Xbox as a whole. It's taking Bethesda, just rolling them in. Other than Halo, like, I know they're going to have something. I don't know what it is. They've been really tight-lipped about it, which is a good thing, I guess. But man, we are really due for some cool Xbox exclusive game, and it has been a really long time since we've seen one of merit.
I don't know. I hope Daddy Todd comes out and he's like, I know you guys want to hear about Elder Scrolls 6 and I know you want to hear about Starfield, but here's a clip of the new Fallout game. And I think that will just blow everyone.
Yes, that would be amazing. I doubt it, but that would be amazing.
Oh, that's my joy. Don't do it, Chatty.
Don't do it, Daddy. Specific to Halo Infinite, they've been. I am still. I think I'm the only holdout, despite the fact I'm wearing the Halo Outpost Discovery T-shirt. I am still the only holdout that does not think it's coming out this year. I want to be proven wrong so bad. I want them to say, "Hey, here's all the Halo Infinite news, and oh, by the way, there's a playable demo right now," or something. Like some crazy hype moment. Here's the console. Here's the collector edition. Here's something. I'm the only holdout for it. Do you think in the last year we're going to see a radically different looking game from the one we saw a couple years ago, or last year, I should say, or do you think that you're going to be able to immediately say, yeah, this game probably needed a little bit more time in the oven?
I think that I really hope we see a radically different game. They've had a year to kind of fix this shit. Then again, they have had some turnover in key positions at the studio, so I don't know what we're going to get. Hopefully, whatever it is what Halo fans deserve. I like Halo a lot. I love Halo, especially because we played through it together and I have so many fond memories of that. But here's my Halo fandom and yours just it's up there somewhere near my ceiling. So for your sake and other people who are like you, I really hope they deliver a game that's worth your fanatical obsession.
We're due for a win. Halo 5 was not it. It was fun. We did the best we could with what we had. Halo Wars 2 was fun. We did the best we could with what we had. Although the Master Chief Collection has evolved into a very capable game. I'm ready for that hot, new, fun experience. Just something crazy, something wild. I've been keeping track on the weekly, I should say weekly, it's monthly. Halo does a 343, Ask Me Anything. They've introduced a lot of interesting mechanics, a new sound engine, a day and night cycle. They've talked a lot about the flora and fauna that's going to be floating around in Zeta Halo. But we haven't seen it all together yet. And it's very easy to piecemeal parts of a game, and then you look at it holistically, and you're like, yeah, it's going to need a lot more than a day-night cycle because this game's trash. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. I'm so nervous about this. I want to be hyped and I want to be excited. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
If they release a special edition or a console, and I'm not watching, please order me one.
If you're not watching Halo on Sunday, June 13th, do you deserve a special edition console?
I don't know where I'm going to be at that moment. I might be with my dad. Who knows?
Okay, fair enough. We'll see. Yes, I will. Well, here's the question. Here's the true test of Halo fandom. The good news is they release a Halo limited edition console. The bad news is it's only for Xbox Series S. Would you still buy it?
No.
I would. I need the plastic. Yeah, why not? Dude, it's Halo. The last collector edition console we got was garbage. The Halo 5 Guardians was one of the trashiest consoles I've ever seen. And
you didn't buy it.
I know, and I don't regret it, but I'm sad. I'm really curious. I think this is the one that has me thinking about the most because I do like Xbox. I haven't really turned my Xbox One X. Really, I use it as a streaming machine now. I haven't played any racing games in a long time. My wheel isn't even set up. If they do anything, it's on Game Pass, with the stuff on PC. But it's nothing new. It's not like, hey, here's the hot new game everybody's playing. Or Sea of Thieves new season came out. I didn't play it. I don't know. I need something to get me wound up for Xbox in the way that PlayStation constantly just gets me lit up. And I'm not feeling it from Xbox. And I still get hyped thinking that Xbox and Bethesda are now one entity. This is the time to like show us. You have to bring it. I say this every year and they never do, and that's why I'm comfortable with the fact that I don't even own an Xbox and it's not even on my radar right now.
Fair enough. What are you going to do if they come out with two completely distinct special edition consoles for the Series X and the Series S?
Whoa. And of course the Series S is going to be cooler, right?
Wait.
I really want to play. So the one thing that I always tout, the ultra wide master race. I love my ultra wide monitor. It doesn't have HDR. That's the one thing I didn't get. I chose a higher frame rate over HDR. So playing Halo on my Xbox One X, mind-blowingly how beautiful it is because of the HDR. I really feel hurt not having HDR. So I guess my point is I'll just be excited, even if it is the Series S, which I really don't want it to be. I'm just excited that like I will be reunited with Halo 4 in HDR and 120 frames a second, get a new TV,
Good.
my new Sennheiser headphones, my DAC, and just let it go, baby. I'm so excited. I really hope they release one. They haven't released the collector edition console yet. Clearly, they have to have been thinking about it because all this marketing came out. We saw the Doritos, we saw the Coke cans, we saw the cookies, the energy drinks. There's so many Halo-themed items that are out in circulation. It seems only natural the console would be like the home run, but I don't know. Microsoft works in mysterious ways. I mean, they released an Elite Controller 2, which was hot trash, and abandoned it just as fast as it came out. So, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. But you didn't answer my question. What if they come out with both? You going to buy both?
No, I don't think I could come to buying both because that's really... Yeah, no, I don't think I could. No, I don't think... Wait, hold on. Is it a bundle? Like, do I save a couple bucks? Because then maybe.
No, you don't get to save a couple bucks. But you're so full, dude. You're so full of shit.
You're thinking I'd buy both?
I know you
just
would.
to have it. I would never even turn on the S though. It would just sit there. Even if the
S could travel with you. Just stop.
I guess it could. If they could make, you think they'd be distinctly different though? Like you're telling me you think like one's going to be like the Arbiter edition and one's going to be like, I'm just making it up, like the Master Chief edition and the Arbiter edition?
Oh, dude, tell me you wouldn't go in for some of that
I'd buy it. Yeah, I'd buy it. But I don't think they're creative enough to pull this off. They just I don't see Microsoft as hyped as I am about cases like in plastic and peripherals. Like there's just something cool about a collector edition console that's just so different than like a skin or a wrap that you can put on one. Like I don't know what it is. I mean but there's a hype moment there.
Dude, I traditionally only buy special edition consoles. So, I mean, I didn't have an option with the PS5, but I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, I guess the special edition was the fact that, like, you got the edition, and that's pretty special.
I got one. That was what was special edition about it.
So speaking of PlayStation 5, typically after the Xbox press conference, which Xbox always used to, E3 has shifted. It used to start on like Tuesday, like it was or like a Monday or Tuesday. They've now started on a Saturday. Xbox used to be the gateway into the fan show, the proper show. PlayStation used to follow them the next night. And once again, PlayStation will not be present at E3. How does that make you feel? What do you think about that?
PlayStation does a really good job with their events. I mean, the PS5 reveal, when they revealed the games,
so good. So good.
I think that they do a really good job. They don't really need E3. I think it'd be great if they were part of it. Okay. I think that would help boost E3 back up. And I'd like some Ratchet and Clank news.
I mean,
I'd like some I'd like some more Horizons Forbidden West news.
All right, so do you think that they're not showing up because they don't have because all they had was Horizon and they're done? Like, they're like, well, we showed you our game. Bye.
No, I think they're not showing up because they want to give final details on Ratchet and Clank,
So
and give additional details to Horizon Forbidden West, and give a teaser for Ragnarok, all in the same event. And I think they want it to be a PlayStation event.
Ratchet and Clank will actually be out before this start. Ratchet and Clank comes out, I think, next week. I want to say it's Thursday or Friday. So I guess they could still hype it up, like, hey, this new game came out, we're going to look at it again. But by the time the conference would have been on, which would have been like Tuesday or like Monday night, Ratchet and Clank would have already come out. So knowing that that's like maybe what you're thinking was one of their big three, we just saw a 20-minute gameplay of Horizon. That would leave God of War, which I would agree would be if I would watch just, hey, here's a 20-minute show on God of War, like here's where we at. Sign me up. But I don't know. It seems like they have every opportunity in the world to get out there just like everybody else and say something, and they're not. And that's what worries me. If a big company like this doesn't have anything to show, that goes back to what I was saying about with COVID and everything. Like, how bad did this really hurt people?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right, my friend.
Yeah,
you're right.
I would be curious to see from PlayStation. I assume that they're obviously not done with news. Like, they're not going to just not talk about gaming news ever again. The fact that the whole world is watching, this is the first ever digital event. It's kind of like, it seems like COVID is over-ish, or we're getting there. This seems like it's a great time for everybody coming out of their bunker. Let's celebrate, kumbaya. And then it's like they're not at the party. I feel like they should at least be there, even if they don't have a lot to show off. But I guess maybe the philosophy is, well, if we're not going to win the show, then we're not going to be a participant in the show.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe.
We'll see. So, moving on to Monday, there's not a whole lot of stuff. They're doing that same thing again where they have a couple small announcements with like mythical games. I don't even know who the hell they are. Freedom Games, Razer, which is the game peripheral company. Capcom is going to have a small event, which I can't imagine they're going to have a whole lot to announce, considering Monster Hunter Rise just came out, and that's kind of like their big flagship game right now. Tuesday is the finale of E3, and that's when Nintendo is going to come out. They've announced they have a 40-minute trailer of games coming out. They said mostly in 2021. What do you and then they have a 3-hour Nintendo Direct afterwards. So you got to imagine whatever they hype, they're going to be playing it for the next 3 hours to just get you salivating for it. What do you want to see from Nintendo? And I already know the answer, but what do you think?
It doesn't matter. They're not going to give it to me. They're going to give me some arbitrary Pokemon game that no one wants to play. I want to see Breath of the Wild 2, man. Like, it's not rocket science. I want to see Breath of the Wild 2, and I want to see like a new Super Mario game.
What do you think the next... We'll get to Zelda in a second. What do you think the next Mario... Do you think we're going to get another like 3D world adventure, or we're going to go back to like 2D? Like, are we going to get Odyssey 2.0 where we're going to go to like 10 more worlds? Or is it going to be themed in outer space again? Like, what do you think we need from another Mario? Or you just don't really care?
I don't really care. I just want a new Mario game.
Okay.
How about you? What do you want?
I really liked Galaxy. I'm sad that it never really took off after Galaxy 2. I liked Odyssey. I thought Odyssey was a cool game, and I really enjoyed it, but Galaxy will always be my favorite. I have very fond memories of timing jumps and spinning around planets and launching off into orbit. It was a really cool concept. I know Mario is like themed where it's like, we're going to go to the water world. We're going to go to the mushroom world. We're going to go to like the city or whatever. And I'm okay with that. But I feel like they need to take more risks like they did in Odyssey where you could possess things like people and dinosaurs, which was a lot of fun. And I'm sure that they're thinking about that. Just knowing how slow Nintendo is, I feel like we're still many, many years out from that.
What about an open world Mario game?
Ooh, I like an RPG Mario where you have like Super Mario, like what was that? Did you ever play the one for Super Nintendo, this Quest for the Seven Stars, Super Mario RPG? That was pretty good. That was like a true RPG. You walked around, you had like a party, you did quests, you had experience points. It was cool. I would love an open world Mario game where there were no loading screens. It was just like you have to walk out in this kingdom like Skyrim. It's like you see that mountain out there, you can walk to it.
Bro, the Switch doesn't have that.
That's what I was just getting ready to
Okay.
say. There's no way in hell the current hardware could even come close to handling this. And that's what worries me is I feel like they're handcuffed with this hardware, which leads me to my next question. When are we going to see this Switch Pro? Everybody said it was going to happen in the next couple days. I've heard this from so many different people, from so many different sources. This is happening, and it's still not happening. So what gives?
Dude, is the Switch Pro even going to be powerful enough to run a
No,
game like
I don't
that?
think so.
I don't know. Can they pack that much technology into such a small form factor?
If this DLSS is as scalable as they say it is, and they manipulate it well, I have seen games running at like 240p at like 200 frames a second. So it is possible. Obviously, it's a little fuzzy. You'd have to find that right balance. But yeah, I think they could pull it off. So what everybody's been saying, and I think this is pretty clear by watching the last Pokemon trailer we saw for the new open world game. I think it's called Arceus or Arceus. The trailer was stuttering. It was very clearly struggling to play the little slices of game that they wanted you to see. The catch with that was everybody said, oh, clearly when the Switch Pro comes out, they're going to do like a side-by-side comparison. They're going to say, here's what it looks like on your current tech, but here's what it looks like on the Pro. And everybody's going to lose their mind, and that's going to be their selling title to get them into the Pro.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You know that thing we sold you a couple years ago? It's a piece of shit.
it was when we got it. Yeah, and it's been more than a couple of years. Didn't the Switch... I'm going to look it up. Do you know when the Nintendo Switch released? It's been a hot minute, man. Let me look it up. Let me see if I can find it here really quick. It seems like that's a CPU. I'm looking at the tech specs. It released in March of 2017. So we're coming up on, well, that's not that bad. 4 years, honestly. Like, if your games after your 4 years ran the way they do on your Switch as they did on your Xbox 360, your PlayStation 4, you'd throw it in the garbage.
Oh, dude, the Switch Pro is gonna suck.
I hope, I know I'm going to buy it, right? Do you think that, like, to me, this 3-hour treehouse is going to be them selling you on the Switch. They're going to just be showing off games on the Pro. To me, that's what it's going to be. They're going to be sitting around there like, hey, we got the Switch Pro. Let's take a look at Breath of the Wild on it. Let's take a look at Odyssey on it. Let's take a look at, like, other games that run, like Link's Awakening, Smash Brothers, whatever. Look at how bad these games run. But now we're going to put it in the Switch Pro. And look at how great these games are. Just imagine what the future holds, and everyone's like, oh, and everyone's pre-ordering, fighting over it. You know what I mean?
Skyrim's going to go from 9 frames per second to 19 frames per second.
Over 100% improvement. I don't know, man. This is the wild. So for me, I didn't really ask you. Well, I know you were going to say Breath of the Wild. For me, it's obviously Metroid. Like, I know we'll probably never get a Metroid game again as long as we live. I think Metroid Prime 4 was a hoax. I don't think they're working on it anymore. The standalone Metroid game, I don't think they're working on it anymore. I think we are just like Metroided out. I could be entirely wrong, but that's the game that would get me really excited. Give me a collector's edition of like old school Metroid games. Throw in a soundtrack, do something, and I'm sold. And then you don't have to show me anything else. It could be a 2-minute Metroid trailer and 36 minutes of dead air, and I'd say, what a great 40-minute show.
Fun fact. It has been 857 days since Metroid 4 has been mentioned by Nintendo.
See, that's what I mean. Like, that's horrible. We're gonna break the streak. I'm telling you, it's gotta be happening, Phil. Like, we have to have Metroid. Like, Samus Aran is such a staple of Nintendo, and the fact that we have no Metroid game is sad. Going back to Breath of the Wild, though, we are getting close to Zelda's birthday, and I believe it starts this year. The release of Legend of Zelda. I think it's like the 30th year. Anniversary of the original, like when the first Zelda game came out. So what I think they're going to do is very similar to what they did with Mario. And I think they're going to have a whole year celebration. They're going to have some kind of like Switch game that's like a battle royale where you got to beat dungeons as fast as you can. Clearly, we have Skyward Sword coming out. Maybe we get a Majora's Mask remastered next, or I don't know, pick one. And it all builds up, and then at the very end, ta-da! At the end of the year, next year, that's when we get, Breath of the Wild 2.
Dude, Super Mario Smash Battle Royale.
Super Mario Smash Battle Royale. Okay, so like 100 links drop in and only one. Again, can the Switch run this?
No, pick each. There's like 100 Super Smash Brothers characters. Each one, you only get to pick one, whatever one you get when you get in there, and that would be interesting because it wouldn't so much be you'd be upgrading classes, you'd be upgrading your character. No, you couldn't really do that. How would you? I guess you just drop in with their powers and you try to make the best.
You
of
just
it.
go. Listen, I love these zany ideas and these crossovers, and I think that is some of the charm that Nintendo has, is taking these old IPs for years and years and years and constantly very nice. Very wonderful. That's why I shaved, actually, because my beard, I could like stick it in my nose, and I just thought that was so funny to take my beard and just go like this, and I'm like, ooh. Nintendo has had the ability to take these old IPs and give them new life constantly. I mean, you've seen it time and time again. You got Mario Tennis, you got Mario Bowling, you got what? You don't like my hands? I speak with my hands, man. And I haven't hit the microphone. Have you noticed? I've been very cognizant of where this microphone. This is the play area. This is like too far out of play area. Yeah, they've done a really good job, I think, of keeping those franchises alive. So yeah, if you want to do some goofy battle royale Mario game, I'll play it. I'm sure it'll be fun, right?
Yeah, buddy.
I just don't know about. I don't think you're going to see Breath of the Wild 2 this year. I want to. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's been enough time. I think they need more time. I don't think.
They've had enough time.
They've had 4 years. We just said the Switch launched 4 years ago, and it was a launch title. 4 years isn't a lot of time for a game. I mean, God of War took 5 years. They said God of War was a 5-year development cycle from the day they started to the day they finished.
Yeah, well, they didn't fucking copy and paste all of God of War like Nintendo is with Breath of the Wild.
I mean, I kind of feel like if they're going to do it, they need to release the new hardware before they do it, because I don't know. I'm not saying I wouldn't play it. Of course I would play it. But Breath of the Wild 2 cannot run like the first one, because the first one, I know you have nostalgia for it. It was a really shitty game. It ran horribly. And I don't want to go through that again. I want it to be a pretty game.
I liked it. It was a good game.
It was a great game. It was just a very poorly optimized, skippy, screen-tearing, blurry mess. But it was a great... Despite all that, it's one of the best games ever. That just tells you how great it was. But
oh man, this shitty little handheld console isn't running this like my gaming PC.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, you've been spoiled with your computer now, and you've played games at hundreds of frames per second. You've played Call of Duty at 60 frames a second on your PlayStation. You're playing The Division at 60 frames per second. Go boot up this weekend. Go load up Breath of the Wild and play it for 5 minutes. And you'll be like, this doesn't look so good. I don't think you would say that. I don't think you could last 10 minutes playing Skyrim on Switch. That's what I'm saying. I think we're well past those days.
Breath of the Wild has no replayability whatsoever.
Agreed. Once you've done all the shrines like I did, and I almost bought the DLC, not even because I wanted the stupid motorcycle, but just because I felt like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, I've done everything else, and yeah. I don't regret it. But yeah, I have no desire to go back and do anything in that game. I've done it all.
Like, why do you give me the awesome motorcycle after everything in the game is done? Like, I'm not going to ride it around the plains of Hyrule. Like, fuck off. Let me unlock it in, like, at least the middle of the game.
That is why when you got Epona in The N64 version. What was the name of that game? Why am I drawing a blank here?
Ocarina.
Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time. You got Epona like right away. Like, go outside the castle, get your horse. I was like, yes. And then you had the whole game to ride around, and it was fun, and you were still exploring new things. Yeah, don't give us a cool item afterwards. And I don't know why Nintendo, it's like they've kind of dabbled with the DLC a little bit. They're like, well, we kind of want to include DLC, but we kind of don't. So we might put some in later. We might give you a new character, but we might not. Like, I got to give it to Ubisoft and some of these other games, although I feel they're a little too predatory. They do a really good job of like, here's the roadmap. Here's what you're going to get year 1, year 2, year 3. Call of Duty's the same way. I think Nintendo can learn a lot from those companies and say, yes, we got it. You buy it now, great, and we'll see in a year, and here's what the patch is going to be.
Agreed. Love it. Dude, Tom Nook looks sus as fuck.
It's creepy, isn't he?
Why is he there? I thought you bought him for
I
Rachel.
did, and this is where he ended up.
She didn't want him. This is what happened when Jim buys something for Rachel. It ends up in his game.
It's funny because I moved her recliner back in her. You know what I should? This is what I'll do. Next week, I'm gonna take Tom Nook, because Dry Bones, you can't see him, but Dry Bones is like, Dry Bones is like this big. Dry Bones is sitting like between Tom Nook and the armchair, or the armrest. I'm gonna put Tom Nook back in her office. She's got her own recliner in there now. She could have it set up. If the next time we record, you see Tom Nook here, you know she physically carried him back. Like, yeah.
You know what would be great about that is that you know for a fact she doesn't watch this show.
Yeah, I know. And I bought dog meat for her too, and here's dog meat. So
dude, if you don't want dog meat, I'll take dog meat.
You know what's cool about dog meat is you could take his little goggles off, and yeah, look at that.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, unfortunately, like, they didn't think like what would happen, so they're like welded to his head, and he looks better with the goggles anyway for protection, obviously. Yeah, dog meat's pretty cool. So I don't mind having dog meat here. All right, so yeah, and that'll wrap up the E3 show. The grand finale will be an E3 award show with Jeff Keighley, where I guess it's like a recap, kind of like a celebration. It's going to be at night, and they're going to kind of go through and talk about the highlights, the lowlights, I don't know, whatever, just a quick recap. During that whole time, and I guess this will be a good place to wrap up this episode. During that whole time, Jeff Keighley will be doing his Summer Games Fest, but he's consolidated it considerably just to, I think, like a week or two this time. So it's not going to be like a month-long bore. We'll see what that holds. I think everybody, except for me, again, I didn't hate it, but everybody panned it so bad. I suspect he has learned a lesson or two, and it's going to be very, very concise.
Okay. We shall see, my friend.
As we close out, I want to ask you, who do you think is going to... I hate saying this because we're all winners, but who's going to be the best at E3? Who do you think is going to show up? You think it's going to be Xbox and Bethesda? You think it's going to be EA? You think it's going to be Nintendo? Who's going to be the one that when the smoke clears Tuesday night, you're going to sit back and say, man, I am so glad I am a blank gamer, or I'm a fan of whatever. Like, what do you think is going to steal the show?
Bethesda.
You think Bethesda is going to be able to pull it off? Dude, I hope you are right, because I am the ultra Bethesda fan. And I've defended those guys when they sucked, and I played Quake Champions when no one else did. I'm ready. Dude, I am so ready. I hope so, man. I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And it's only a week away. The reason I want to talk about it now is... typically, I run these shows on the weekend when I finally get around to actually uploading them and cleaning up the audio and stuff. So I don't know. The next time we record, we may already be into E3. There may be more announcements, but I thought it would be good to kind of put this to bed. We talked about it, and now we can sit back like the rest of the world and patiently wait for, hopefully, Metroid Prime 4.
We should watch E3 at the same time and live stream the show while we watch it.
You're gonna take off. You're gonna take off all the days like me and live stream it with me.
The Bethesda portion on Sunday, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be excited. I would say with the way they're doing this, it's definitely more accessible than I think it was because it is carrying over on the weekend. I do miss the hype of it being during the week because I always took the week off. So like while the rest of my friends were working, I was like in my own little nerd bubble, like, you know what I mean? I feel like more people are involved, which hey, I love. I want everybody to play games. That's great for me. It's just weird that they shifted the time. I don't know, especially since it's a virtual event. It's not like they were renting out show space or anything. I mean, this is all going to be done on like some dude's got on some computer somewhere is the master video file for Bethesda and E3's press conference, and all some dude has to do is hit play, and then he just sits back and he's like, okay, we're done. It's all pre-recorded. It's done, right? There's no reaction anymore.
Yeah. I'm just happy that we're into June and I haven't heard the name Jeff Keighley in like a year.
Oh, you're going to hear a lot. Yeah, he's going to be heavily integrated. And there's some rumors, some games you probably don't care about, but there's some rumors of games that he is like going to have the world trailer of, and you're going to hear on Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest, blah, blah, blah was announced. So yeah, he's back.
He's doing Summer Games Fest again?
Yeah, so I just said like 2 minutes. Where you been, bro? I just said that.
Go away, Jeff Keighley.
Aw, Jeff Keighley's great, man.
I do like Jeff Keighley. I heard his name too much last summer.
Yeah, well, I think the Games Fest definitely overstayed its welcome. That's a fact. I just don't know going into it this year how much Jeff Keighley we need now that E3 proper is back. Like, I feel like he was like, you know what? E3 dissolved at the last minute last year. Someone's got to pick up the pieces. It's not the best, but I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna give us a show. Might not be the best show, but I got something for you. And now E3 is like, yo, dog, like tag me in. Like Hulk Hogan's in the ring getting his ass beat, and Macho Man is like, tag me in, and Hulk Hogan refuses to tag in. I feel like that's E3 and Jeff Keighley. Like, you've done your part, hot tag into the fresh man, and let's finish this thing. And I feel like Jeff Keighley just doesn't want to, like, he's like, but they're all watching me. I'm in the middle of the ring. It's like, dude, stop. Like, we need to win this thing. We need to win gamers back, and you ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's who I want to talk about all summer, is a pasty white Canadian guy.
Yeah. Well, good news. Starting next week, he is going to be there, and he's going to be I don't think he's hosting the official E3 show, but he will definitely be involved. Be ready. All right, man. Well, we did it. We managed to talk about E3 for 52 minutes and 30 seconds. I'd say it's a pretty good show. But you know how every show does end, Phil. That is you saying the world famous Phil's farewell. So are you ready to say goodbye to everybody?
Sure, why not? So thanks for tuning in, everyone. We continue to appreciate you. And much like E3 is definitely going to still fucking suck. We're also never changing.